Well, this will be the final video. The XR100 is done. So it turned out the first time I replaced the exhaust valve and put it back together, I didn't have it exactly in time, and I ended up bending the intake valve. I noticed when I got it back together, I was pushing the Kickstarter, just moving it around to try to get a good kick on it, you know, like getting it at top dead and then kicking it. It bound up a little bit, and I didn't force it or anything, but I couldn't get it to unstick, and I was pretty sure it was that cam chain because the gear was mangled up in there. It was pretty ate up. So I went and adjusted it, and I rotated the flywheel, and it finally came loose. I didn't force it or anything. It just kind of popped loose, but ended up I spent about a week troubleshooting of why the air was coming out the carb. It was shooting gas and air back out the carb. So it turned out I took the whole motor out again, tore the head off, and I bent the intake valve. So I ordered that up and got that yesterday. Came out this morning, put it all together, and started it right up, and that was it. And I could tell it just made a completely different sound when I first got it back together this time, and it actually, you know, you could tell it was pushing it out the exhaust instead of the intake. So here it is, from what you've seen when I got it, all missing a bunch of parts, missing the seat and the hand grips and everything else, just missing tons of stuff. So on this side, this whole cover on this side was replaced because the previous owner took the crankcase protector on, which I have on now. I bought a new one. They took it off, and it tore up the front of the cover when they hit something. Then they ended up tightening the bolt down to try to stop the oil leak, and they ended up crushing the aluminum cover there where the bolt went in. So I ordered a new one off eBay, and it's on there now, and it works perfect. New gasket and all that good stuff. New foot pegs, which I probably did in my old video. New side cover because it was missing this side cover. Repainted the exhaust. The exhaust is all painted now with high temp header paint, 2000 degree max. Let's see, new stickers. I don't know if I showed those yet. New stickers on there. That cost about $40 for both, for left and right gas tank, but it's worth it just to make it look better. You can see my new chain adjusters right here, on right there, and they were completely missing. On this side, I rewired it, got it all hooked back up, got the stop switch, which is right here, back on. Got one of my chain guards here, and I need to get one here later on that goes here and covers this. Then I actually have one of the chain sliders that goes in here somewhere. I haven't put it on yet, and then I'll just have to order one more later on if I really feel like it. Got the breather tube on and going where it's supposed to be. It runs down to the bottom of the bike. That was completely missing. It was also missing the carb drain tube that goes down below the bike so you can drain your gas out and not have to worry about it running on your engine. So that's all straightened up. There's actually a gasket in here now to keep the dust out of the clutch, or out of the flywheel, I'm sorry, out of the flywheel, because it was missing. And you can see my crankcase guard there a little bit better, this here. So it's on there now. You can see up here, new pad, new grips, my new cover here, and the front number. And actually a lot of these were like going the wrong way, this type of thing, so I got the book out and looked at it and found out where everything's supposed to go. So it's actually in the right space now, and I can get that number plate on there now. Before I couldn't even get it on with the way the cables were ran. But it's looking like a completely different bike now than what it was with the crap they had stuck all over in the mangled foot pegs and everything else. So I guess I'll try to hold the camera, and it won't be too hard. It'll start up pretty quick, and I'll give it a kick and let you hear it run, and we'll see. Now, when I first got it, it would run, but it would just blow smoke. It filled my whole garage with smoke. So that was due to that valve seal, and I replaced the exhaust valve seal. The intake does not have a seal on this 2000 model. The intake doesn't have. Alright, before the video cut out and I ran out of space, what I was saying is the intake doesn't have a seal on it, so I didn't have to do that. It's actually got a completely different valve guide in it that doesn't accept a seal, so I didn't have to worry about ordering a seal since I already had it apart and I knew that. And it actually said it in the manual also, so I kind of knew it then too. So when I had it apart, I looked at the piston and the rings, and really there wasn't no damage to the cylinder. The top of the piston had a couple valve marks on it, but it wasn't cracked or damaged or anything, and I was told that it would run just fine with those marks on there, because there's actually pistons with those cutouts on there for the for a little bit of valve lash. So I didn't worry about doing that, and when I poured gas on top of the piston, it didn't run out straight away, so I knew it wasn't bad enough to worry about replacing it right now. So I'll do that later on whenever I feel like ripping it apart again and putting a piston and rings in it and getting it honed and whatnot. But what I was getting to was that now that it starts now, it doesn't blow the smoke like it did. It'll blow a little bit, like if you're throttling pretty hard, it'll push a little bit out. And I really don't know if it's just what's left of the stuff that's in the muffler, or if there's a little bit of oil getting by those rings, but I'll worry about that later. I'll ride it for a while and let the oil in the muffler hopefully burn out whatever was shooting in there, because it was spitting oil out the muffler before. So anyways, I will give this a kick and let you hear it run. I got my fuel on, I believe I turned it on, yes. Alright, we'll give it a kick and we'll let it run here. They're blowing a little bit of smoke now, but let it warm up. Not nothing like it was, but I can handle a little bit of smoke. Just gonna have to do some Just gonna have to do a piston and ring job later, and it could be, you know, I just can't tell with it. I mean, I know I got the dipstick. I might have put a little bit too much in there, so that could be the problem also. But for now, I'm just going to ride it until I get the money to replace the piston, because I've waited so long to ride it now. And I've probably got about $400 into it besides the $100 and a quarter or whatever I gave for it. So, but looking online, I mean, they're about $900 to $1,000 bikes, and they're even asking that for the 80s, and this is $100, you know. So I think it's a little bit better. But hope you liked my videos and me working on this. I know I didn't show a whole lot of me actually tinkering with it, but that's because I'm using an iPhone and I don't have a stand, and I really don't feel like getting into the huge bit of video editing, but I may at a later time, because I have a very nice tripod that I picked up that I want to get a good decent camera for. And see my nice tripod here, it got the bar on there, you can move it around and everything. So I'll get that at a later time, and then hopefully I'll be able to show videos like this of me working on it. So there you go. I'll try to get a video of me riding it eventually, so hope you enjoyed.